Oh, it's the league that means nothing, folks. I am back yet again, Tommy Fresh. One of your commentators today joined yet again my partner in crime. It is Mo Bogsley. We have one hell of a match for you. It is Florin versus Carlos. Florin's on Kassai. Carlos is on Kayo. And it's going to be a barn burner, I think. What are your takes on this matchup?
Yeah, so Kassai is normally pretty favored in two brutes. KO is the least favored of all the different brutes. So I would say it might be like 55-45 with Kassai favored. The more copper Kassai gets, the more odd hits that she gets, the more it will lean towards her. Unfortunately, brutes don't block great. So if those cards line up on a no block turn, Kassai's going to get a lot of value.
We will see. We're going to get right to it right now, folks. We're not going to make you wait any longer because guess what? This is going to be a real fun match to watch. We see Carlos shuffling up his sleeves.
Emperor sleeves. I like those. Those look sick. And we'll look at that playmat. Where's that playmat from? That is a beautiful playmat.
Yeah, is that Skullhorn? Is that the Emperor or is that the Judicator? I forget what the...
Is that the Judicator?
I think so.
Either way, those sleeves are nice.
Very nice. And we see the classic sleeves over on Florin's side. I've seen those a million times. They are beautiful. I understand why they're being played. And I'm excited for this
beautiful
match.
Kassai mat, too.
Kassai mat is going crazy right now. I love to see it. And we're seeing Centauri Sabers over there. We're not going to see any axe, hatchet shenanigans. It doesn't seem like. KO on the classic. Carlos going crazy over here. You get to choose which cut. Holy smokes. And
listen, brutes just like to roll dice, and Carlos wanted to start early.
I get it.
It looks like
a 10,
a 10?
Florin.
And a 9!
Oh, man.
So close.
I don't know.
Dice rolling, always the most exciting part of the game.
Depends on who you ask. I tell you what, folks, there is a lot of chatter about scab skin leathers these days, and I am here for it because that card's awesome, and maybe we should be discussing it a little bit more, but it looks like I can't really tell who's going first until now. Carlos playing
with the cast bones. High ED play turn 0, 1/6, 2/6, 3/6 bluefish. Looks like.
And wow.
But the good news is Blood Rush will be coming very quickly. Maybe next turn, maybe the turn after.
We will see. It's going to shuffle those back up, put them on top. I always forget that it's random.
If it wasn't random, Cast Bones would be such a better card. With it being random, sometimes you just get 5 mites turn 0, which is still pretty good.
Yeah, that's a lot of mites, I would say. Can't be too unhappy. Obviously, you'd like to get the agility token as well. But listen, beggars can't be choosers, and that's the brute way.
Yeah, Blood Rush being, on top is also one of the best cards for Carlos to see this early, trying to take some tempo early.
It seems like this might be that was a high skill play to get Blood Rush on top after shuffling. And we love to see that kind of play from our brute players. Carlos, thank you so much.
Yeah, good shuffling. I'd love to see it. A Saber for 2 here. 3 cards left in hand. That's the fun about Warriors. You never know if there's more or less, and it is a Blade Runner.
Still waiting to see what that hero is going to be, the kind of futuristic warrior art in Blade Runner. We thought we were going to get it in Bright Lights, but alas, we did not.
Carlos taking the 2 here. The next Saber will be playing for +3. And it looks like the grains is being paid for to make a Vigor for next turn. It's kind of like putting money into your 401k. Gotta save up for the future, kids.
Yeah, kick it down the road a little bit. This is a great use of the grains. I think Carlos getting that Blood Rush Bellow might say, I don't care about anything unless there's a bad on hit.
Yeah, there's no copper being threatened to this turn. There's no gold being threatened. There's like nothing besides just raw damage. And brutes normally don't care about just damage. And the grain's being paid for again. So 2 vigors going into the next turn is always a great thing for the Kassai side.
Yeah, and if you can manage to maybe get a take it on the chin, you can create an agility, block out with your whole hand, and then you could just go saber for free, essentially. It's free money. It's free real estate.
Free tendies, as we say in the business. A blue will be pitched for the Blood Rush.
We see a little shuffle of the cards here.
And one thing to note is Blood Rush is one of the best, if not the best, brute cards ever printed. But unfortunately, Kayo can't abuse it like Reinhardt and Levia can. The numbers are just lower.
Numbers are lower, but a lot better hits and easier, or not better hits, but easier to hit, obviously. So, you got to take it where you can. And we have seen Kayo really dominate the meta in a lot of different ways. We're going to see probably this claw come for 5, 10 go again with the
10 go again's a big number. God, who knew losing an arm would make such a good hero? Maybe we should lose our arm, Tommy.
I mean, let's just trade arms. How about that?
I'm down. You can have my left. I'll take your right.
So I got 2 left arms. You got 2 rights.
Yes, sir.
Man, whatever. Oh, we're seeing the balance of justice here. I didn't even see it up there in the top corner.
Yeah.
This might be the turn you pop it off, right? Save some damage, but there's probably more Blood Rush Bellows to come, so you might as well wait.
Yeah, balance should always block the first Blood Rush, so very well done there. Destroying it is when it gets tricky. Because you could pop it off here and try to take tempo and, have a 6-card hand going into your turn and just take some damage. Or you could try to block out and save that value for later.
It's tough. It's tough. He doesn't know what's coming next. I think it would all really depend on that.
So he does know the top cards of Carlos's deck. And I don't believe any cards with Go Again were revealed off the top last turn.
Mm-hmm. Does not know what went into Arsenal.
Yes, there was 3 unknowns going into this turn. One of them being that blue Wrecker Ramp, I believe. Closing the chain.
Closing the chain.
Maybe we're going to roll scabs? Is this going to be a scabby turn?
Rest in peace, chain.
It is a scabby turn. Roll those dice. Roll those dice. 6!
3 action points. Oh my God. This is the best card ever printed, folks. We need to ban it immediately. And we see a
Bare Fangs with the Beast Within in hand. If that is discarded, this turn will be huge.
This is a huge, huge turn. Carlos said, I'm seeing this opportunity.
I believe it's the card on the... Oh, there's 3 cards in hand still. I thought there was only 2 in hand. So 33% chance to get extra cards this turn.
Didn't quite get there, so we're probably going to see another attack, hopefully.
Yeah, probably the Beast Within might come across.
If there's another
this
blue.
Bare Fangs is for 10.
10 with 2 more action points is something else.
Yeah. Already 20 damage threatened this turn. And you know what? Kassai says, I'm going to draw a card here. This is kind of scary.
Understandably, I mean, this is a decent matchup for Kassai, but if you get 2 behind too early, there's not a whole lot.
These are the games that really make KO look insane. When any deck that KO does this against is terrified.
That 2 blood on our hands?
That unfortunately is 2 of the power cards for Kassai. Oh, is that a runner coming up next, I believe?
No, Clash of Agility.
Oh, Clash of Agility. That's a fun one.
It's coming in for 8.
And let's clash, boys and girls. Oh, it's only to defend. Man, I know my brute cards.
Mo, come on, man.
I'm sorry, I'm learning. First day on the job.
Taking 2.
26 on turn 1. Wow.
I mean, these are the reasons to play KO. You can just do crazy stuff like that as long as your scab skin roll goes well. I see the scab skin rolls without gambler's gloves as a old school brute player, and I clutch my pearls a little bit. I'm like, holy smokes, what is going on here? A little
As
nourishing
I say in the
emptiness.
business, no gamble, no future, always roll.
Here comes nourishing emptiness here, which should have dominate.
Should have dominated unless we missed an attack being blocked last turn, which I don't think we did.
And it was it was essentially for free with the 2 vigors, which is nice to be able to keep an arsenal as well.
Yeah, this might just be give scabs, give arms, block with a card, get a might. Feels kind of bad. But you really don't want that extra card.
Really depends on what Carlos has in hand here, because if you can't capitalize on 3 cards or 4 cards, you might as well block it out, not give Florin the amount of cards to deal with. Although it looks like Carlos is taking it.
Wow. Down to 27. So these life totals are so close after that huge 28 damage turn last turn.
This is the feast or famine of the brute life we're seeing before our eyes. We see the might pop here. Florin's in a great spot. 5 cards in hand. Card and arsenal. Full armor.
Gosh, wow.
Another blood rush. Holy smokes.
Blood rush, blood rush, blood rush.
My blood's rushing, folks. I don't know about you.
Another big number, too. Oof.
Oh, we see the pulping go away. I'm sure Carlos would have loved to have kept that pulping, but you know what?
Looks like a cast bones was drawn, if I saw correctly.
Can't necessarily see it, although 2 resources still left. A tunic that is fully operational. Very interesting what you do with the cast bones here, because
Yeah, you could arsenal it. You could pitch it for our card. Claw for 6, though, coming in first.
certainly a good start. Classic start. Florin's going to say
5 cards in hand, though, for warriors. Always terrifying. It's a class that loves to block, but if you don't make them block, those swords get huge.
Yeah. 2 in the swings there. Or second swings. I forget what they're called.
Insert 3 block warrior card here.
Florin's saying, you know what? I'm blocking this claw. There ain't no laws when you're swinging claws. Although, Kayo cannot swing claws, only swing claw. And we're seeing a Bare Fangs.
Discarding a Savage Feast. So, just a 16 damage turn, not bad. And he's so ready to block. He's like, yeah, I'll block 6. It's fine.
Yeah, 1 card left and an arsenal. Notably has not blocked with the Dynamos yet, because hasn't really been able to take a breath and swing with 2 swords.
Yeah, no tempo on the side of Kassai, but the life totals are so close that he doesn't even need the tempo.
If I was Florin, I'd be feeling pretty good right now that I'm only at a 5-point health difference than the KO player after 2 blood rushes. Now Florin says, let me present a gold on hit. Do you want to give him the gold?
You never want to give him the gold. Always block this out. With no floating card in arsenal, it's not super scary to block here with an attack, but it will buff the saber up to 3.
Buff the saber up to 3. I mean, Florin could get a little cheeky with the blade flurry if he wanted to. Or even one of the reprise.
Just takes the 2. He says, you know what? You can have your gold token. I'm not greedy. I'll share the wealth.
Yeah, to have the gold, you know, you're blocking a lot. I'm not super worried. I'm gonna make you block some more.
It's like a runner in hand for Carlos. I couldn't see what else was hiding in there.
Funny enough, this is a pretty unique KO game, at least in my opinion, that we haven't seen one agility made.
Yeah, that's a good point. I
Like
thought I saw
it's
the third blood rush. I swear. Oh my god.
I mean, folks, this is this is crazy. Now, if Flora could survive this blood rush, right? And certainly will. I mean, has a bunch of cards to block with. It's going to be hard to present enough damage to like kill Florin from 22 life. But if Florin survives this third blood rush, I think you kind of start to feel a little bit better because you're like, all right, they don't have anymore. I've stabilized a little bit. Kayo still does some powerful stuff, but the spiky turns are really what make KO so scary.
I was gonna say you have no more blood rushes to play around, which is great. But as you said earlier, there's no agility tokens made yet, which means you're still terrified of all those go agains for the later turns.
Mm-hmm. At this point, like I would be looking at the possibility of grinding Carlos out. This is what these warriors do so well. Lauren says, "Here, have my third blood on her hands. I'm not going to do any copper nonsense."
Is great for Carlos to know there's no more blood on her hands left in the deck, which means giving copper away is okay. And the boots come in. Finally. Get them, boots. And a full block?
Take it on
No.
Gonna
Block for
take
6.
Yeah.
So 2 damage leaking through there.
And that was a relatively weak. Oh, our first.
And the discard. There's the first agility.
So we get well, we already got the might and now we have the agility. But that was a relatively weak blood rush turn, right?
Just the first blood rush was insane. The next 2 were, I think, average KO blood rushes. I think 16 is what KO is really trying to aim for. Sometimes you get lucky with agility tokens and stuff like that. But without that, I believe 16 is average.
But now you're at the middle of the game. No more blood rushes. You have some agility makers, but you don't even have an arsenal. You have a 4-card hand here. Florin is playing a slice and dice here, going to buff up these swords. I believe cracked the gold, right? To make them free. Has go again from the take it on the chin agility.
Yeah, so much value on this turn. Gold popping for the free swords. Taking on the chin makes us have go again. Slice and dice buffs it up. Really, everything is just cooking over there.
They give Florin a chef's hat for all this cooking that we're seeing.
Intimidate helmet still on the side of Carlos, but with only 1 card in hand, it's not that scary. So you really have to try to save that for a bigger turn. Normally, a blood on her hands turn, but as we see, that will no longer happen.
Yeah, it's going to have to probably come down on a big go against sword to start out the turn. Coming in for 5, and it would have been a free saber anyway, so it wouldn't be really the right time to do it.
Again, 5, these basic numbers just don't normally scare brutes because they say, I do basic numbers better than you can. You might block better, but my numbers are bigger. So let's play this game.
So we're at 17 all. Dynamo resets. We have an arsenal for Florin. And now we're going to see some tokens pop on Carlos's side. Agility and might, classic combo. Ooh.
TNC for 7, go again.
Normally this would be pretty scary, but I got to say, when you got something like Dynamos and a bunch of 3 blocks, who cares?
Yeah, those breakpoints don't matter as much with those Dynamos, unfortunately.
Ooh, and a send
But a send
package.
packing.
Like, listen,
Carlos is saying, I want your arsenal. Give me your arsenal. That's all you got was the card in arsenal, I believe.
Yep. The question is, so you could block pretty like with your armor and like one card. Like, so you can go block 4 with the remaining armor and one card, get that all you got back. But and it looks like that's what Florin's gonna do.
Oh, here's another. That's all you got in a hand. He's really saying, "Come on, bro. That's all you got. Sun packing. You can do better than that."
That all you got? The first mention of Victor Goldman we had seen.
Looks so much nicer in that picture too.
Yeah.
Vigor has been popped on the side of Kassai. A tome
Gorganian
was the
tome.
last remaining card.
I guess that makes sense.
Card.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
in this
making
deck.
the sabers free.
Notably, Carlos sitting there without a token from last turn. No might, no agility.
Okay, so Carlos has a pulping in hand, though, so he doesn't need the agility. He just needs enough cards to make that pulping work. But run through, giving the saber go again. Off the top of the deck from the tome, because we knew that's all you got was an arsenal.
You love to see
So we have
that.
perfect information.
Now Florence says, all right, you didn't block that one. Do you want to block this one? I'm going to get a gold here if you don't. Coming in for
Is
4.
Carlos playing the I'm not going to block until I'm forced to block my armor game? Because that's what it's looking like right now.
It's a tested strategy. It works, especially for brutes. Like, I have to continue to put on pressure, but it looks like Carlos said, you know what? I'll take a might.
Yeah, I don't want to give you a gold token here, so I will full block this out for 5.
Dynamo
Kind of comes off the dynamos. The feet will be able to block again. What will Carlos do? I assume it's a pulping turn, which means this whole turn is going to be determined by what he draws and discards. It is just a swing big. Never mind. Saving the pulping for another day with all reds in hand, it looks like.
Sounds good. I mean, this is a play that makes a lot of sense to me. You know what? Start the pulping from Arsenal. Get good. Goodbye, Kassai. That's what you want to do.
The only concern here is if Kassai full blocks this with 3 cards, you give them the quicken token to just go saber, saber.
Yes.
And we know there's a defense reaction in Arsenal. So really it's only 2 cards in the Arsenal. Very interesting situation to be in.
Yeah, tough beats there on the red hand. I might have with that hand with the knowledge of the defense reaction, I might have said, hey, you know what? You can have the gold. I'm going to go pulping into something.
Just hope to draw blue off the top and not discard it kind of play.
Yeah. But went with the safer route, but, giving the quicken is whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't feel great, but Saber coming in for 2 go again. Is this the turn Carlos starts to block is the question.
Is a decent...
Looks like a cast bones in hand. I can't see the rest.
Oof. Oh, you're going to clash with agility? Holy smokes.
Very, very likely that the Brute wins this. A 7 versus a 0, I believe it was.
Yeah, it was a 0. Guess the agility. Funny enough. Ooh,
Blade flurry, though. Oof. Leaking 2 damage.
Man, that's
such a powerful card. Being able to buff up both your attacks for 0. Oh, so good.
One of those times when you're just like, oh man, I wish I really used that Scowling Flashback.
Yeah, you never know when to use it, which is the issue from the brute side. Sometimes it does nothing, and sometimes it saves you tons of life.
That's a tough thing, and especially this matchup. That's coming in for 5. Oof. Possibly 6.
I don't think you can give any cards as KO at this point. Knowing you have Pulping in the arsenal, looks like a Wild Ride in hand. You really just want to go wide.
I mean, look at this, Mo. We were just looking at a huge advantage we felt, like from the 3 Blood Rush Bellows. And now we have Carlos at 8 and Florin at 17. This is the tables turning, if you will.
Amazing thing about Flesh and Blood, right? You can see all the power cards on one side, but sometimes blocking is just that strong.
It really is.
Kassai said, you know what? I'm going to block for 3 turns straight. You're going to get a 10-point life lead. But my math is so good on my side that I'm just going to outmath you and try to outvalue it throughout this course of the game.
And this is wild. So it looks like Carlos wants to do a Cast Bones turn here because he could have actually did the Savage Feast with that agility and like done some cool stuff.
Yeah, try to draw blue again.
So we got
Listen,
4
Carlos
sixes, 5 6s, 6 6.
6 for 6. But those are, again, a lot of reds. Carlos cannot draw blues or yellows. It looks like there's 1 blue
2
and
blues?
2 yellows in the next 6. So we're really just trying to hope that you don't draw 3 reds and a yellow next turn.
Very much hard the cards right now. But you kind of give Florin a decent grip here while you're at 8. You still have almost all of your armor, though.
Yeah, I do think this will be a Scarling Fleshbag turn. Leaving Kassai with 3 cards in hand is really no better time to use than this. Try to mess up their math. Try to make them get unlucky.
But if I'm the Kassai player here, I'm feeling pretty good. Spoils Award. This is a great opportunity to.
The good news, though, is we know the blood on their hands are gone. So those copper just don't really do much. It's not super effective to pay 4 to draw a card. So it's really just the damage this turn with the go again. And there is the armor block. Intimidate coming through. Gonna get rid of that only card in hand.
Last card, and Kassai says, "Here's the other Centauri Saber. Do with
2
it
more
what
damage.
you will. 2 damage, going to 6. Not the worst.
I think Carlos has to go to 6 here. We know what's in hand. We know it's on top of the deck. We know it's an arsenal with the agility. I think you need to try to take tempo here and try to close this game out.
Yeah, you can go 3 attacks wide here.
Yes, especially with the pulping and arsenal.
Carlos in the tank, though. It might be tempting, but you gotta put some pressure on.
Yeah, as much as I love blocking, I don't think this is the right time to block. And the 2 copper doesn't matter, so you're really just looking at 2 damage. Unless you don't think you can go 3 attacks wide, or unless you think you can while still blocking.
He might be looking at, so he has a Beast Within in hand, but he also knows what's on top of his deck. So like, there's no real chance of losing more than 1 life, right?
That is correct.
But
you really want to discard that this turn to go as wide as possible. So blocking does increase the odds, and CNC doesn't do much with this hand as well. So I actually like that block. That's a smart block. It's a red. It's not a brute card. It doesn't have go again. There's nothing special about it.
Those mites work with it, though. Gosh.
That is true.
But we will see where this turn goes.
Turn it to 2.
Okay.
Savage Feast for 12. Discarding the Beast Within.
Nice.
I understand that block. Guaranteed the extra card draw. So we're going to draw 2 cards off this. 2 floating still. 12 go again. What is there not to like about this? Like, where's the downside? That was all amazing upside.
This is scary.
2 floating still.
12 is a lot. This needs to be respected. But also, this could see if Florin wants to guarantee the like the full use of his defense reactions here. They saw the CNC get flipped. It could be coming. Use them before you get stuck with them, if he has any. Being a block.
I think it's just a block for 6, going to 11, which is still pretty healthy. I don't think Carlos can kill through 11. That pulping, also maybe just saving the defense reaction for the pulping, if there is a defense reaction in Arsenal.
I mean, you can go claw now with the 2 remaining resources.
Yep, there's the claw.
Coming in for 3. This is a barn burner, folks.
Honestly, this attack is bigger than 2 of those Blood Rushes were, which really shows you how Blood Rush is a good card, but it is not needed in KO. There's just so much other powerful things you can do in this deck.
Mm-hmm. This is an easy block 3 here.
Still 11, and here comes the CNC that he knew about. So the pulping is saved for another day again. And this should guarantee the Arsenal, which 6 damage and an Arsenal killed. Wow. Oh, that was a great turn by Carlos.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that maybe that all you got should have went in against the claw there. Felt like.
Unless we misunderstood the card in Arsenal.
But also, you know, you do have to protect against something like a pulping or whatnot. So I understand, and we obviously know that there's a pulping there.
And Kassai just drawing on passing the turn back. He said, "You know what, Carlos, you earned it. Hit me again. Show me what you got over there."
What kind of funny? I mean, we'll see. I mean, this is a.
Oh, never mind. My bad. I thought he was drawing up.
No. It looks like Florin drew up.
Was he just trying to check the yellow count in the yard? Maybe defense reaction count?
Yeah, Carlos is probably asking.
It looks like it's defense reaction count. Okay, that makes more sense. I thought he was activating Kassai there, and I got very confused.
So an Arsenal pass here. I mean, this has to be pulping first, right? Yep.
Yeah, unless you have a wild ride or something similar.
Ooh, there's a Reckless Swing, your favorite card in the game.
I will say Reckless Swing is a lot better in KO. You can actually make use of it. I don't think there's any misses in Carlos's hand, so this should be guaranteed dominate. There it is, then packing. So 6 dominate, give me 2 cards, or it has go again. So as we know, you can't give 2 cards through dominate unless it is a that's all you got in Arsenal.
Oh, man.
Oh my god.
That is very tough. We're going to see an agile windup discarded now saying, you know what? You're going to prevent my go again this turn, but you're not going to do it next turn.
Yeah, really good turn for Florin. Really good turn. Carlos had all the tempo, and Florin said, you know what? Give me some of that tempo. I'm jealous.
Here's a slice and dice.
And a heart to gain a life. The value is real.
This guy's got walking around money. Holy smokes.
You know, those warriors, those outfits are not cheap.
Certainly not.
You got Kayo with one arm trying to fight against Moneybags Kassai. This is not a fair fight.
Now, this is really interesting because you can take this. You can take the 3, even if that's a Blade Flurry in hand.
Mm-hmm. The problem with that is that you get low enough that buffs kill you on the next sword attack, so you have to respect it.
But there's no go again, right?
So Blade Flurry give this one go again and buffs the next one?
Blade Slice and Dice only buffs the first one and then the second one. So it could be a Blade Runner in hand. Got 2 resources. It could also be a glisten or not glistening. What's the blue one from
Uh,
Welcome to?
Isn't it glistening?
No, glistening steel blades from the dual deck. This is the league that means nothing. It's been a long day. The blue one that is good.
Oh,
It's zero.
Glint.
Glint the Quicksilver.
Yeah.
So it could be a glint, and if that's the case, man, you really get punished if you block.
That is so true. It
and it was
looks
a
like it
Blade
is
Runner.
a Blade Runner.
So now you know exactly what's on the table, what's going to be coming at you with this second attack. Carlos goes to 4. And that was a blue Blade Runner. So you got 6 coming at you, 6 or 7. So I imagine we're going to see at least the Apex here.
And probably Scabbies as well. No reason not to block with Scabbies.
So you block with an attack, it goes up to 7.
Yeah,
and then you need to
still
give at
just
least
die.
1 armor.
I don't love being at 1 though. I would much rather be at 2. Just in case Kassai has like something like 2 like shunts or something. You never know.
Yeah. Carlos in the tank here. We know he has to give one thing. He technically could give nothing, right? He could just
give all his armor.
throw all 3 armor and say, you know what? I'm
gonna kill you.
I'm doing it.
A little bit risky though, because Tunic's on 3. I think if Tunic was on 1, it's a lot easier to give it up.
Oh,
But
Carlos.
never mind. He said, have all my clothes. I will get naked for you, Kassai. You will not kill me.
Wait, instant speed, remove a counter. Scabs
Get the
sticks
1 for
around.
Oasis. So he's just wearing his boots now. Says, all I need is shoes. And let's see what this agility, might, and 5 cards can do.
This is going to be really tough. This is a tough one to navigate because likely Florin has 12 block plus the
Bare
diamond.
Fangs is a good way to start.
Coming in for
9, go again, unless he misses on the discard.
It's a lot of cards, folks.
God, all these high numbers. Okay.
Yeah, throw it
Was
on
it
the
a
bottom.
blue?
Throw it on the bottom.
Unfortunately, it was a
Reincarnate.
blue discard, which I don't think is great for Carlos. But it's still 9 to go again. 3 cards left. Claws online. 1 floating. The choices are his.
9 coming in. The question is, oh, I see a wild ride too.
Oh my god. You know, that might just be Arsenal for next turn if he can afford to claw into something else. Which I don't think that's possible, unfortunately.
If that's
It's
a
like
blue, I see the Clash, the Wild Ride, and something else. If that's a blue, it could be a pitched blue to go claw into the Clash. Now, that is, I think, 1 short of the amount that he would need, assuming that's all 3 blocks in Florin's hands.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Blocks are 12, 13. But you know, no cards in hand is still a good spot to be as a KO.
Yeah, with the Wild Ride, like
Yeah.
in the waiting room.
In the waiting room, just hanging out, waiting for the next turn.
Yeah, I think you got to block what you can block right now, right? You don't know what's coming. You don't know if a pulping's coming. Block the 9 while you know you can do it.
Yeah, 100% agree with you there. There's no reason not to just full block this unless you have something going to waste it, something that costs resources to block with.
Did he have a 2 block?
Has to be, right?
No, it doesn't look like a 2 block at all. Is that? That's interesting.
I'll be honest, I don't know what brute cards, warrior cards block for. I assume they always all block for 3, but maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, I know for a fact the hit and run blocks for 3. Oh, so that
I
was
know
a
Nourish
yellow
blocks for
Clash.
3.
Yellow
Right.
Clash. So we're going to see.
And Florence says, kill me. And there's the wild ride. Boop, boop.
Wow.
Wow, KO gets
Holy
there.
smokes. Oh my God. What a
Wow.
game. Wow.
That was exciting.
That was really exciting. I think
And
if you don't give the dynamo there, I think you live.
you live.
Unless we were missing
one.
something. There's something. It's
Yeah,
totally possible.
Yeah, I have to assume one of those cards blocked for 2. We're missing something.
It was one of the newer cards, but it may be a 2 block, and maybe that's why. So, what an amazing game! Carlos takes it down. KO, pretty powerful, folks. We saw a lot of high rolls. I thought Florin had it, right? And that shows.
Yeah. Triple Blood Rush into double cast bones into just hotness.
Hotness.
I would say, like, that was. Oof.
Well, this has been the league that means nothing. Yet another round. I've been Tommy Fresh. You can find me on Twitter at FreshBudsPod. Thank you for tuning into Go Again Gaming. Where can they find you, Mo Bogsley?
Yeah, find me on Twitter at Mobogsley. Feel free to check out my YouTube channel at Mobogsley. Check me out on Tommy's channel. Check me out on Az's channel. Really, check me out wherever you want, because I'm everywhere and anywhere, baby.
Oh, yeah. Check him out. Hotness.